Hey, what's up? I'm Firax and welcome back to another weapon comparison video. And today, if you haven't already figured out from the title of this video, we are comparing the semi-automatic rifle and the semi-automatic pistol in Rust to help you find out which one you should use and in which circumstance. Please leave a like if you liked this video, and with that said, let's get started. So once you've played the game for a couple of hours and you finally stumbled across a semi-automatic body, you are probably going to ask yourself the question whether or not you should craft a semi-automatic pistol or the semi-automatic rifle, or if you should just move on and skip them entirely. I mean, both of these weapons require a semi-automatic body, which can, if you live on a very populated server, be quite difficult to obtain because, I mean, you have to find them in the boxes or in crates or in things like that, and sometimes all of them will be either a great distance from your base, so it's kind of difficult to get to them, or some of them will just all have already been looted, so you need to be sure that you're crafting exactly what you need and what you want with that semi-automatic body. So to craft the semi-automatic pistol, you're going to need, of course, the semi-automatic body, a spring, one metal pipe, and 15 high-quality metal, which again can be quite difficult to come across if you haven't mined all that much. Or if your curiosity got the better of you and you decided to craft all of the weapon attachments before even having the weapons. But yet again, high-quality metal, I mean, you can go on a small mining session and you should be able to find it no problem. Or try to go on a raid and loot it from somebody with your bow, since you still don't have a semi-automatic pistol. The rifle, on the other hand, needs a semi-automatic body, one spring, and 450 metal fragments, which is actually quite easier to obtain than the 15 high-quality metal, because by the time you're ready to craft a semi-automatic rifle, you probably have more than enough metal fragments. So the cost of making these is not too expensive. It's mainly going to depend on whether or not you have the resources for each. So now let's take a look at the stats of each of these weapons and hopefully help you make a better choice on which one you should use. So fundamentally, these two weapons are not all that different. However, there are some subtle differences that can make each of these weapons excel in different types of scenarios. So if we look at the damage multipliers of each of these weapons, let's take a look at the pistol. We can see that a headshot with this gun is going to do 81 damage and add 13% bleed to the person, for a total of 91.5 damage. And most people generally are not full health, unless they're raiding or you're going against people that are full geared. So there's a good chance that you'll down pretty much anybody with this gun if you hit them in the head at close range, assuming they don't have much armor on. A body shot with the pistol is going to get you 49 damage and going to add 49% bleed, which is going to total an amount of 73 damage, which is still pretty good. You can basically down somebody in 2 chest shots if they're not wearing any armor with this gun, and you are in relatively close quarter combat. And if you hit somebody in the leg, you're going to do 28 damage plus 13% bleed, which is going to give you a total of 31.6 damage, which is going to require 4 leg shots if you hit every single one of your bullets in the leg. If we compare these stats to the semi-automatic rifle, we can see that a headshot is going to do a single 85 damage, a body shot is going to give you a 60 damage, and a leg or arm shot is going to give you 40 damage. So we can see that the semi-automatic rifle is going to do more damage up front, but you're going to have a lot less bleed damage. So overall, over a longer period of time, the semi-automatic pistol deals more damage per shot. However, what really sets these two guns apart is the range, the fire rate, and the ammo capacity of both of these weapons. The semi-automatic pistol is only going to be very good at close combat and maybe at medium ranged combat, but still it's at quite a disadvantage compared to the semi-automatic rifle, which can go up to 150 meters, which is quite good at medium range. However, the semi-automatic pistol is probably going to do a little bit better in close quarters combat because of its fire rate, which is slightly faster than that of the rifle. But since the semi-automatic rifle can hold more rounds, that is 16 rounds compared to the 10 rounds of the pistol, it's going to be a little bit more forgiving on your aim. If you miss a couple of shots, it's not all that bad because you have more in the magazine, in the clip, to back you up before needing a reload. you'll probably also be able to deal with a couple more targets with the semi-automatic rifle before needing to reload, though the difference is not going to be all that significant. However, the semi-automatic pistol does make up for its lack of ammo capacity in each clip by having a faster reload time. However, if we took a look at the recoil of both of these weapons, the recoil for the semi-automatic pistol is low indeed, but it's not as low as the semi-automatic rifle, which means that you'll be able to track your targets a lot better with the semi-automatic rifle because the recoil won't be getting in your way as much. You'll basically be able to reacquire your target a lot faster with the semi-automatic rifle, especially if it's at a greater distance and you need to be very, very accurate. What's really good about these two weapons is that they can both fit all of the different weapon attachments, which means that you have quite a lot of personal customization that you can do. Most of these attachments are suitable for the pistol. I would use all of them, except maybe the 4x scope because that's a bit overkill, but I would personally use, if I could afford it, the holo sight, a flashlight, and either a silencer or a muzzle brake. The rifle, on the other hand, has some of the best iron sights in the game, at least I find. That means that you don't necessarily need to add a different scope to the gun unless you really want to go for those long-range shots, so the 4x scope would be quite good. However, I wouldn't recommend any of the muzzle modifiers because they modify your aim and you want to be as accurate as you can with this gun because you're generally going to use it for longer ranges. So that and a flashlight is quite good on this weapon as well. So when we take a look at the ammo now, both of these weapons use different types of ammunition. The pistol can use some of the pistol ammo and the rifle uses 5.56 rifle ammo. There isn't really much of a difference between these two types of ammunition, except for maybe the cost, and even that, it's generally limited. So then you can ask yourself the question, should you use high velocity ammo? Is that going to be useful for each of these weapons? I would definitely argue yes, if you can afford to craft each of them, because they're significantly more expensive to craft. But with the pistol, you're going to do about 20% more damage, which is very, very good. It means you can basically one-shot, headshot anybody with full health as long as they don't have any armor on. And even though the damage difference between the regular ammo and the high-velocity ammo for the rifle is not all that big, the fact that your bullets are going to reach your target a lot faster is going to make it easier to hit your targets, especially at longer ranges, because you won't have to lead them as much. So to sum up everything we just talked about today, and to hopefully help you make a better pick of which weapon you're going to craft in the future, let's go over the most important points. So the pistol is generally better at close quarter combat because it has a faster reload and you can spam the fire button a little bit faster than the semi-automatic pistol. So for anything that's for basic exploration and simple fights or close quarter fights, I would recommend the pistol. However, the rifle is more for medium range and long range encounters and generally won't do as well in close quarter combat compared to the pistol. But that definitely doesn't mean that it won't be able to hold its own in close quarter combat either. I mean, it's still a very good weapon. You have 16 rounds in it. It has good recoil, good fire speed, etc. So I wouldn't hesitate using this one in close quarter either. I personally prefer using the pistol when I'm playing solo or just basically exploring the map, going around close to bases, rat downs, etc. But once I get a bit more geared and go scouting around, not exploring for loot or anything, I would generally pick the semi-automatic rifle because of its range potential. But with either of these weapons, you can't really go wrong. They're both very good weapons for starting off in the game, and whichever one you pick, you're not putting yourself at any severe disadvantage. They're slightly better in different territories, but both are still pretty much identical. The difference is not all that big. So your choice could also just depend on personal preference. Anyways, thanks so much for watching this video. Please leave a like if you thought this video was helpful or if you liked it. Please leave a comment down below with your opinion and which weapon you prefer using. And don't forget to subscribe for more weekly content. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.